the title of his speech, The Real Reason I Joined the Army. Please welcome Dan.
I've been in the Army for over 20 years, and one of the most common questions I'm often asked is, why did you join the Army? Oftentimes I tell people I joined because I wanted to serve my country. I wanted an adventure. I wanted the college benefits. But today, I'm going to tell everybody here in this room the real reason why I joined the Army. Actually, I had to get special permission from the Department of Defense to tell you all this. So, in order to understand why I joined the Army, you have to know my upbringing, where I grew up. I grew up on the north side of Bountiful. Yeah, that's right, the north side of Bountiful. It's one of the most roughest neighborhoods in the state of Utah. No one can argue anywhere else. This place was rampant with crime. You had a lot of jaywalkers, litter bugs. You had people illegally parking. As a matter of fact, the worst thing I saw growing up was I saw a guy, he shoplifted a candy bar. He jaywalked across the street, tore the wrapper off the candy bar and threw it on the ground, then got into his illegally parked car and drove off. It was a very traumatic event for me to witness at such a young age. And my parents, bless their hearts, they tried to raise me and my siblings the right way, but it was tough in that neighborhood on the north side of Bountiful. And eventually, I succumbed to the neighborhood. I gave in to peer pressure. I wanted to be one of the cool kids. And what the cool kids do? They jaywalked and they littered. And it was such a dangerous neighborhood, police were afraid to go in. They didn't want to get their cars dirty, or they didn't want to bump into illegally parked cars. So it was very rare to have a police presence there. So I was on my way to a life of crime, to becoming a hardened felon, until one fateful day. I was crossing the street, jaywalking of course, because only wimps and old people use the crosswalk. Walking across the street, I get a piece of gum, put it in my mouth, then I throw down the wrapper on the ground. Now, as soon as that wrapper hit the ground, I hear this, "Freeze! On the ground now!" What? "You! On the ground now! Don't make me ask again!" I look over, and there was a police car. There's a police officer behind the door with his service weapon drawn. And I hear a couple other cars coming, woo, woo. They converge, and these officers get out with their weapons drawn. And I'm going, okay, this does not look good. So immediately, I got to the ground, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. I have brought shame to the Robinson family name. Will now be synonymous with Billy the Kid, Jesse James, Sundance, and Butch Cassidy the Sundance Kid, and John Stamos, all famous outlaws. And the name Robinson would be synonymous with that, and I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to ever overcome that? So I went to the station, and I had a court date set, so the judge decided he had to set up a court date, and he said, son, I can see that this is your first offense. Thankfully, it's the only time I've been caught. Otherwise, he'd probably have a lot more offenses, but we won't get into that. So he said, I don't want you to become a hardened criminal. Because otherwise, if you go to jail, you'll learn some new techniques on how to litter and jaywalk. Apparently there's advanced methods of doing those and how to illegally park a car. So give you an option. You can either join the Army or you can go to jail. And I thought, this is my chance for me to redeem the family name. I can join the Army, serve my country. And keep in mind, this was the early 90s. It wasn't like there was anything really going on. So I could just do my time and get out. So I joined the Army. I met with the recruiter. And I went to basic training. And I was supposed to do an 8-year term, but like I've said before, I've been doing this for over 20 years now. And that's because I'm still haunted by my criminal past. I still want to atone for it. I want to continue to serve. And just so everyone knows, like I said before, I had to get special permission, so I know this is a good redemption tale, but none of you can tell this story to anybody because it's secret. And if any of you are caught telling the story, guess what will happen to you? Guess where will you end up? That's right, the north side of Bountiful.